Have you ever noticed how a few characters in One Piece have foreheads so large that you could fit your Wi-Fi signal on there? Or how some eyes are spread so far apart that it would take you a $100 Uber just to get from one cornea to the other? Or how about a head that's so weirdly shaped that you could use it as a baseball bat? Well, I found 40 of the most hideous characters known to man, and if you have any mirrors nearby, you might want to put them away just in case. We don't want you dealing with broken glass all over the floor. Speaking of broken glass, I'm pretty sure Vasco broke his parents' hopes and dreams the moment he came out looking like that. I mean, what type of race could he possibly be from? With the way his nose hangs from his face, I have a hard time knowing whether he's a baby elephant or an aardvark. The man's face literally looks like it lost a battle with gravity. Seriously, those wrinkles have more creases than a crumpled up map of the Grand Line. And what's with that chin? It's almost like he's storing a secret stash of snacks in there for emergencies. He really should count himself lucky to be picked as a member of a pirate crew. I know I won't. His face is like a roller coaster ride full of twists and turns and enough bumps to make you wonder if you should have brought a helmet. Now, I know a helmet can fit any regular person's head, but I can't guarantee it will fit the next character I'm about to show you. Watatsumi's face looks like it's been on the wrong end of a kraken's tentacle for one too many rounds. Seriously, his forehead is so large, it's like a blank canvas begging for a better face to be painted on it. Plus, his lips are like two deflated life rafts desperately clinging to the sinking ship that is his face. And please, someone tell me how your eyes and nose can be on the same level. Don't even get me started on his legs. I mean, how does a guy that huge stand on those twinkle toes? Now that I think about it, he looks like what would happen if Hugh Jackman and Danny DeVito had a baby. Sorry, Watatsumi, but even sea creatures would take one look and swim the other way. There are lots of characters in One Piece who love to swim, but something has to be wrong when the rest of your body is constantly trying to swim away from your face. You would think a former warlord of the sea would have a better looking pirate as an elite officer. You guys know who I'm talking about? Trebo, the man whose head looks like it's been marinating in a vat of toxic waste for a little too long. The mucus dripping from his nose looks like it's been trying to fall since Roger found the One Piece. Seriously, even Oda showed a picture of him as a kid, and you can see the mucus still refusing to come out. Trebo has had his own fair share of fungus sticking out of his nose, but you'll be shocked to know he's not the only one. St. Charlos is a one-of-a-kind world noble who would rather be carried around by a slave than walk. He cries whenever he doesn't get what he wants, and isn't afraid to abuse his power as Celestial Dragon whenever he sees fit. This doesn't just make him ugly on the outside, but on the inside as well. It is for this reason I will show you the pleasing scene in 4K of him getting punched by Luffy. Oh, and here's another one of him getting slapped by Don Quixote Miosgard. You get the point. He's so ugly, even his own kind doesn't want him around. Moving on. We all miss the Whitebeard pirates. In fact, there is not a day that goes by where I do not think of what would have happened if both Ace and Newgate had survived Marineford. Luckily, Ace had his younger brother to carry on his will, but Whitebeard, on the other hand, I'm not so sure. You see, Weevil's got the kind of face only a mother could love. Literally. We know Whitebeard was lean and shredded throughout his life, but this fella looks part behemoth, part buffoon. His skin's got so many patches, you would think he's one of Gecko Moria's zombies from Thriller Bark. And what's with the Super Saiyan 3 hairstyle? It's not like he could power up if he really wanted to. But no, seriously, it's about time someone put Weevil on a diet. And, seriously, what's with Oda and giving everyone a mucus that's too scared to make it to its destination? That bad boy stays up there, holding on to dear life. Now, we don't know much about Weevil and Whitebeard's father-son relationship, but one thing we do know is that Oda should be banned for Miosgard's father's design. I mean, look at his son, and then look at him. You know what? I think I'm starting to see a bit of a trend here. Good looks tend to skip over a generation every now and then. That explains Whitebeard and Weevil, Garp and Dragon, Odin and Momo, Sabo and Steri. You get my point. More on that in a bit. The top of his head looks like a safe spot to practice golf swings, while the rest of his head looks like a melting birthday cake in his neck, if you can even call that a neck. But seriously, can anyone just become a Celestial Dragon nowadays? Shouldn't there be some kind of, fitness requirement? And his two front teeth kind of make him look like the Easter Bunny. Families in One Piece are really fun and captivating to watch, but none are as interesting as Charlotte Linlin and her 85 children. But there's a fun fact. Did you know for Big Mom to have had that many children, it means she had to have had 43 husbands? Or at least done the deed with 43 men. Now, I don't know how that's humanly possible, But all I have to say is that she could have picked better suitors. I mean, just take a look at the Charlotte quintuplets. Their heads look like they've just gone through a bad game of whack-a-mole. And the fifth brother is so ugly, he couldn't even make it past the drawing board. The Charlotte sisters are a whole different case. Smoothie, Cinnamon, and Citron. Those three look like they belong to Amazon Lily and the Kuja Pirates. They all stick out like a sore pinky. Except Citron. She looks more like a sore thumb. And don't even get me started on Praline and the Shaw. For them to come out like that means the Big Mom had to have done it with the fish man. How's that even possible? Moving on! The family looks like it's gotten its fair share of bad genetics, but I've got to point out Chiffon and Lola. Now I know we can't blame it all on Big Mom, and you could say it's Pound who helped ruin it all, but someone please tell me why their lips are so big that they make the red line look like a mere speed bump? Man, I'd sure hate to wake up to that every morning. Alright. Capone, I'm sorry. Take it easy. No need to aim your guns at me. Sheesh. I'm glad to see the baby is taking after you and not her. I mean, someone has to break the cycle. Speaking of cycles, remember how I said I saw a trend between generations? You know, with one person in the family getting the short end of the stick, while the other comes out looking like Ryan Gosling? Well, this is what happened to Starry. You see, his brother Sabo is a dashing young fellow who was able to garner the attention of many fangirls throughout the One Piece subreddit, with most even putting him in the "Damn, Daddy" category, whatever that means. I'll leave that to your inquisitive minds to figure out. His brother, on the other hand, is nowhere to be seen on the tier list. And even Fujitora made it there, and he's blind. I hope you're starting to see where I'm going with this. Even as a kid, Starry was never good looking. He always had that look in his face that just gives you the creeps. And if I didn't know any better, I would have thought he was just another one of those disturbing looking toys in Dressrosa. Except he wouldn't have to be turned into a toy. But even as the king of Goa Kingdom, you can still see how Father Time wasn't on his side because he still looks like a stalker. Goa Kingdom was home to all three siblings who drank sake that fateful day, ushering what would be known as the fiercest band of brothers in pirate history. It was also home to Aho Suraku, the daughter of Aho Tsunen. Now, I don't know what's up with nobles in One Piece, but this just has got to stop, Oda, please! She's just a little girl! This guy even gave her a name in Japanese that means idiotic face when translated. It is for that reason I'll let you guys come up with your own thoughts about her appearance in the comment section. Hit the subscribe button while you're at it. Remember, don't be mean, she's just a little girl. If anything, I'd blame her father. See what I said about the trend? Except, he also looks... ugh. Fast forward to the present day, we know that Goa Kingdom was really something. But wait till you hear what we have in store for a different kind of kingdom. This place is called the Land of Wano, and man, does it have its own fair share of poor genetics. And no, I'm not talking about Momo and Odin. For goodness sake, have you seen Hiyori? Although, Momonosuke did take a trip to Uglyville every now and then, if you know what I mean. In fact, I'm talking about Kurozumi Orochi and some of the Akazaya 9. Now, we all know Kurozumi Orochi was the former shogun of Wano, a title he didn't get earnestly. You see, Orochi was bullied as a kid and often got branded as a no-good for being part of the Kurozumi family. After he had enough, he teamed up with some relatives to usurp the throne by poisoning the sitting shogun, Odin's dad. Notice another trend, guys? See how some characters are ugly on the inside and out? It's so bad to the point where he thought he actually stood a chance with Hiyori. So glad she gave him a flaming rejection, if you know what I mean. But seriously, this guy gave everyone the creeps. I mean, just look at him. His head is shaped like an upside-down mug, and his ears look like the handles. And his devil fruit doesn't make things any better. A snake with 8 heads, Oda? Really? Well, I guess it's fitting for someone as ugly as he is. You know what they say, once a snake is always a snake. As for the rest of the Akazaya 9, it would be a crime if I did not point out Raizo's giant head. I thought ninjas were supposed to be masters of stealth and precision. I'm not too sure how he does that carrying all that weight around. The same goes for Shinobu. And, by the way, how the heck did she get fat if the citizens of Wano were always left starving? Now that I think about it, how did Urashima or even Ashura Doji maintain their ridiculous size despite the countrywide famine? Now, one Reddit user said that Shinobu didn't just get fat, but ripened with time, claiming that the riper the fruit, the sweeter the juice. Come on, guys, whatever happened to keeping subreddits PG? Another Reddit user, however, stated that her devil fruit could be a possible reason for her ripening. You see, Big Mom and Giola were both smoking hot when they were younger, and I mean smoking. But things went downhill suddenly after they all got devil fruit powers and began their lives as pirates. Does this mean it's only a matter of time before girls like Nico Robin and Boa Hancock hit the wall? You know, physically? Well, we'll leave that one for you guys to decide. As for Urashima and Ashura, it's possible they stole a lot of food from the special farms that Kaido and Orochi ate from. But they could have shared. It's not like stealing an extra smile fruit would have done them any good. Look at what it did to Shimotsuki Yasuye. He loved his daughter so much that he would rather eat the fruit with her than let her stay ugly alone. Although he wasn't exactly that good looking himself pre-smile. Everyone loves sharing, but no one loves sharing as much as Duval. In fact, Duval is so generous that he was willing to share his face on the cover of Sanji's first wanted poster. Sheesh! Talk about taking one for the team. But we all know the story. Life got really hard for Duval because everywhere he went, Marines and bounty hunters always mistook him for Sanji. Now imagine people randomly attacking you just because of your face. Now that's a different type of ugly. What's worse is that he's had this exact face since he was a baby, and even his parents thought he was ugly. As you can imagine, poor Duval had to wear a mask in order to protect himself everywhere he went. The moment he saw Sanji, he just had to get revenge for all the failed assassinations he's been through. Now, I feel bad for him, but this scene of his face reveal definitely belongs in the Ugly Hall of Fame. You know who else belongs in the Hall of Fame? The entire line of fishmen I am about to mention. I mean, these guys are so ugly that they put the blobfish to shame. And that's even rude to Mr. Blobby. But remember Chu of the Arlong Pirates? Well, this guy's got a mouth that looks like it's been trying to detect metal on a beach. And it doesn't help much that Netflix decided to bring him to life. They definitely didn't do him justice. But there's someone who's been waiting an even longer time for justice to be served. And that's Gyaro. You see, he was one of the Sun Pirates while Fisher Tiger was still alive. In this picture, you can see him smiling despite having a face that would make a baby cry. In this picture, you can kind of see him lose all hope after his crew disbanded because he's soon forced to join a bunch of people who look just like him. Now, Gyaro's got the kind of eye sockets that can let you see far into the future. If you had binoculars and placed them right in front of his eyes, you'd practically be able to see his brain. His face is so iconic that someone put it on a few memorable pirates you might know. You get the idea. Moving from fishermen pirates, I go as far as to make the bold claim that even the royal family is not safe from the curse of poor genetics. I mean, just take a look at Neptune's children. I've been having a hard time believing they're all by Otohime, especially Ryuboshi, who looks nothing like his sister Shirahoshi. In fact, he looks a lot like Vice Admiral Red King from the Marines. Think about it. They both have the same skin tone and an upper lip that's too afraid to come in contact with their bottom. With the exception of Red King's neck getting stacked like the Michelin Man, I'd say they're pretty much twins. But that would mean there's a lot more than just ugly genetics going on behind the scenes, huh, King Neptune? Maybe an ugly love affair? An ugly love affair is what I'd use to describe a fan's relationship with the latest man of the hour, Dr. Vegapunk. Now, the disappointment with Old Man Apple's design is different because junkies had expected a better looking character after all the foreshadowing we got over the last 10 years. But seeing a Gigi who is not able to control the placement of his own tongue is just downright upsetting. This one Reddit user asked, how you got all that tech and can't even give yourself a makeover for $50? What's worse is he titled his post with, Vegapunk is the ugliest you-know-what in the verse. I mean, just take a look at all the old geezers in anime history. Captain Yamamoto, Netero, and even Whitebeard himself. They all looked badass. And then there's the baseball bat. No, seriously, that's what his head is shaped like. Anyways, check out this video where I recruit the world's strongest pirates to join the Cross Guild.